Hey, if you're a subscriber to this fun little random Chet channel, you know that I've made a bunch of these segments, recaps of polls I've done via Facebook, asking folks for their three absolute favorite songs by particular artists, including the Stones, Pink Floyd, the Beach Boys, the Doors, the Who, the Kinks, Chicago, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, and more recently, Bad Company. They're all here somewhere on this random Chet channel, I promise. This one, though, concerns a legendary artist who is a two-time inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for his solo work and his time with The Faces. Sir Rod Stewart, who's turning 80 years young as I record this here on January 10th, 2025. Well, a lot of us got introduced to Rod and his amazing raspy rock and roll voice, either during his time with The Faces starting in 1969 or when his breakthrough album Every Picture Tells a Story came out. That featured the global hit Maggie May. That was a couple of years later, the early 70s. He's been a force in the rock and pop world ever since, having sold more than 120 million albums worldwide during his more than half-century career, and he's still out there touring. Choosing a favorite Rod Stewart song is ridiculously tough. Heck, it's like trying to choose a favorite beer, in my case. Too many great ones to narrow it down to one or two or three. But since I asked my Facebook friends to do just that, I had to play along too. And although I love the tunes, Tonight's the Night, You're in My Heart, Mandolin Wind, You Wear It Well, so many others, gun to my head, my absolute favorites would have to be Maggie May in the top spot, the fantastic Stay With Me that he did with The Faces. That's my number two. And then Hot Legs. I mean, heck, as a young guy back in the pre-MTV era, that was a terrific song and video. All told, 65 people cast votes over the past week, with the first place vote worth 3 points, a second place vote 2 points, and third place, 1 point. So what were the results after all the votes were tabulated? Well, I'll tell you that several of Rod's hits didn't even crack the top 20. Songs including Sailing, Some Guys Have All the Luck, the Motown song, Fascination, Rhythm of My Heart, and his cover of This Old Heart of Mine. When I put up a graphic showing the top 20, you'll see that Rod tunes in the second 10, based on your votes, included the likes of The First Cut Is the Deepest, Mandolin Wind, Gasoline Alley, Downtown Train, I Don't Want to Talk About It, and his cover of I Know I'm Losing You. Before I talk about the top 10, I'll mention that I did get to see Rod Stewart in concert 3 times, all in the early to mid-1990s, and he was great each time. All right, the voting results that I promised you. While the hits Downtown Train, The First Cut Is the Deepest, and Young Turks didn't crack the top 10, Rod's global hit, You're in My Heart, the final acclaim from this great album, Footloose and Fancy Free, did, although just barely. It was right at number 10. The voting results for the next couple of songs surprised me in different ways. People Get Ready, originally a hit for the Impressions back in the 1960s, was covered by Jeff Beck with Rod on vocals in 1985. And you guys made it the 9th favorite song that Rod did overall. Much higher than I expected, even though I do like it a lot. Meanwhile, although one of my favorites, Rod's great 1977 tune Hot Legs, a concert staple, surprisingly finished only 8th in the overall voting. Number 7 then was a cover of a song written and recorded by folk singer Tim Hardin, the ballad Reason to Believe, which Rod released as a single first in 1971 with Maggie May, the B-side, believe it or not, and again in 1993 from his Unplugged album. Number 6 then, Sir Rod's disco-era smash, the great song Do You Think I'm Sexy from this terrific album, Blondes Have More Fun. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 4 weeks in early 1979. Fun tune for sure. Now, as we get to the top 5, in just a second, I will put up the graphic showing you the tabulations. But first, I'll tell you that coming in 5th in the voting was the title tune from that breakthrough 1971 album, Every Picture Tells a Story. So darn good. All right, here's that graphic. The following year brought the album Never a Dull Moment, which included the single You Wear It Well, which peaked at number 13 on the U.S. singles chart and finished at number 4 in our poll. Third is a song that continues to get lots of airplay to this day on rock stations. More than a half century later, the great rocker He and the Faces released in 1971. Stay With Me. It would be their only top 20 hit in the U.S. The song that finished second in our voting, while a very good song and a tune that reached number 12 in the US in 1988, to be honest, it is not one of my favorites, but it's not about me. It's the song Forever Young. And yes, it had a lot of similarities to a Bob Dylan song with the same title, but no, it was not a cover. All right, the song in the top spot among Rod Stewart songs based on your votes. No surprise at all. As I noted, it was actually the flip side of the Reason to Believe single in 1971, but it then became a massive hit on its own. The great tune, Maggie May. And the next time you re-listen to it on YouTube or wherever, make sure it's a version with the instrumental intro. It is great. There you have it, the results of your votes regarding favorite songs by Rod Stewart as he celebrates birthday number 80 and prepares to embark on what will supposedly be one final North American tour in late February. Thanks for watching, and hey, Rod, for all the great music over the last 55, 56 years.